The wedding of Obinna and Adiz was the talk of the entire village, a celebration so grand it felt like a royal affair. Draped in the most exquisite traditional attire, they danced under the African sun, their love story unfolding before everyone's eyes. It was a picture of pure bliss, a union blessed by family and celebrated with endless feasting and joy. Obinna, handsome and charming, looked at his bride, Adiz, with a devotion that silenced all whispers. Adiz, a vision of beauty and grace, seemed to have found her forever. Their families embraced, toasts were made, and the air was thick with promises of a happy future. Little did anyone know, beneath the shimmering surface of this perfect day, a scandalous secret was already taking root, a secret that would soon threaten to tear their beautiful world apart. For 6 wonderful months, their home was a sanctuary of love. Adiz was the perfect wife, and Obinna, the doting husband. They were the couple everyone admired, their laughter echoing through the village as a symbol of true happiness. But in the world of powerful families and age-old traditions, secrets rarely stay buried for long. The first crack in their perfect facade appeared during a routine family audit, a common practice in Chief Akik's vast business empire. A junior accountant, known for his meticulous nature, was reviewing the expenses for the wedding. He paused, his eyes narrowing on a set of receipts, the official documents for Adiz's bride price. Something was terribly wrong. The numbers didn't match. The official stamps looked off. He checked again, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew the gravity of what he was about to do, but he had no choice. He took the documents straight to Chief Aki. The chief, a man whose presence commanded respect and a little bit of fear, examined the papers. At first, he was dismissive, a simple clerical error perhaps. But as he looked closer, his expression hardened. The color drained from his face, replaced by a storm of disbelief and then pure rage. The receipts were forgeries, masterful ones, yes, but forgeries nonetheless. The bride price, a sacred and substantial sum meant to honor his family and his daughter, had never been paid. It was a phantom transaction, a ghost in his books. The foundation of his daughter's marriage, the very agreement that bound the two families, was built on a lie. The news hit the Aki family like a hurricane. A meeting of the elders was called immediately. Voices were raised, accusations flew across the room, and the air crackled with tension. An abomination, one uncle declared, his voice trembling with anger. This is the greatest disrespect our family has ever faced. Chief Aki, usually a man of calm authority, was visibly shaken. His daughter, his precious Adiz, was living with a man who had deceived them all. The shame was unbearable. The elders reached a swift and severe conclusion. The marriage was null and void. Adiz must return home immediately. There was no room for negotiation. An entourage was dispatched to Obinna's home, their faces grim, their purpose clear. They were not there to talk. They were there to reclaim their daughter. When the elders arrived, their stern faces told Adiz everything she needed to know. Her heart sank. The moment she had been dreading had finally come. Obinna, seeing the delegation at his door, tried to remain calm, but the panic in his eyes was undeniable. The elders delivered their verdict without ceremony. The bride price was a fraud. One of them stated, his voice cold as stone. "You have brought shame upon our families. Adiz is coming home with us now." Obinna began to protest, his voice cracking. "Please, let me explain. It's a misunderstanding." But they refused to listen. Chief Akik's men moved to escort Adiz, who stood frozen between her husband and her family, her world collapsing around her. Just as they reached for her arm, Obinna broke down. The weight of his deception finally crushed him. Through tears, he confessed everything. He admitted that he had never paid the bride price. The money, the vast sum that was meant for Chief Aki, he had used for something else entirely. A silence fell over the room, thicker and more suffocating than the earlier anger. The elders stared at him, their expressions a mixture of disgust and shock. He had taken that sacred money and invested it into a new business venture, a high-risk tech startup he was convinced would make him a fortune. He painted a picture of his ambition, his dream to build an empire of his own, to be a man worthy of Adiz not just in love, but in status. He hadn't done it to steal, he pleaded, but to build a better future for them. He had planned to pay her father back tenfold once the business took off. It was a gamble, a desperate, reckless gamble, and he had lost. The confession hung in the air, a testament to his betrayal. The elders were unmoved. His reasons didn't matter. His actions had dishonored them all. Adizi's fate seemed sealed. She would be torn from her home, her marriage erased as if it had never happened. But then, something shifted. Adiz, who had been silent and trembling, took a step forward. Her eyes, filled with a sudden fire, met her father's delegation. "Stop," she said, her voice quiet but firm, cutting through the tension. "You need to hear the whole story." Everyone turned to look at her, surprised by her sudden defiance. This was not the timid, obedient daughter they knew. She turned to Obinna, her expression softening with a love that defied the chaos around them. Then she faced the elders. "He did not act alone," she announced, her voice growing stronger with every word. I knew everything." A collective gasp filled the room. Chief Akik's men looked at her in utter disbelief. Obinna stared at his wife, his eyes wide with shock. He had thought he was protecting her by keeping her out of it. "I helped him," Adiz continued, her gaze unwavering. "I helped him forge the receipts. I helped him plan the investment." The scandal had just deepened beyond anyone's imagination. This was no longer just about a deceitful son-in-law. This involved their own daughter. She then turned her fiery gaze directly toward the elder leading the delegation, a man who represented her father. "And do you want to know why?" she asked, her voice dripping with a bitterness they had never heard from her. "Because I knew my own father would have taken that money and squandered it. Just like he has done with every major business deal in the last 5 years." She spoke of her father's reckless spending, his failed ventures, and the way he used family obligations as his personal slush fund. She revealed that the bride price was not about honor for him. It was an extortion tactic, a way to finance his next whim. "Obinna wanted to build a future for us," she declared. "My father wanted to fund his next mistake. I chose our future." The elders were stunned into silence. They had come to condemn a liar, but were now faced with a truth far more complex and uncomfortable. Adiz wasn't just a victim. She was a strategist, a woman who had taken a desperate risk for a chance at a life free from her father's financial control. The narrative had completely flipped. The scandal was no longer just about Obinna's lie, but about the very system of control she was trying to escape. Her confession, her raw and painful honesty, changed everything. The issue was no longer a simple matter of a broken tradition. It was a complex family drama about love, ambition, and a woman's fight for her own independence. The tense standoff slowly dissolved into a new kind of negotiation. The anger was replaced by a grudging respect for Adizi's courage. She had exposed uncomfortable truths about her own family, but she had also proven her unwavering loyalty to her husband and her fierce desire to control her own destiny. A new agreement had to be forged, one that acknowledged the deception but also recognized the reasons behind it. Obinna's business venture, now under immense scrutiny, became the centerpiece of the discussion. If it succeeded, he would be able to repay the bride price with interest, satisfying tradition. But more importantly, Adiz laid out her own terms. She would not be a pawn in her father's financial games. She demanded a formal agreement that would grant her financial independence from her paternal family, ensuring that her and Obinna's future earnings would be their own. It was a bold move, a complete rewriting of the rules. The elders, caught between tradition and the undeniable force of Adizi's will, had no choice but to listen. The lavish wedding was a fairy tale. The scandal was a storm, but what emerged was the story of a powerful woman taking control of her own narrative. Their marriage, born in love and tested by scandal, was now being rebuilt on a foundation of truth, mutual respect, and a hard-won independence. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more.